When I say that I've been to every point in space and time, I mean things like when we read the Bible and you see stories in there about the Bible, all those characters in there, like I've lived the full lives of the people that one sentence had to describe. If I see a character on TV, if I choose to, I can live out the creation of that character, how it came to be, the logic behind what it is, the incomplete logic behind what it is. Say you were to come up with a character and you had to give it all its details. Well, guess what? You would lose some because you would let the character fill some of its details in. In a way, the invisible creator, before we become physical, does that with us. This person, I'm going to make a guy that does this with this intention and this thing. Bam. So you come out as a male or female, judging on what vibrational sense is needed at that moment, at that initiated point of thought, time, space, to create you when you are created into the physical world. The moment of blessing that it appears to be, like me, it would be every human being, it would be their conception point where they came out and they were in that body for the first time to feel that new sensation of a body. But when you're in the body as a fetus, you don't even think that you're a human being. You don't even know that you're a human being until you're probably 2 or 3 years old. I mean, until then, you are just a magical little blessing. That's why children are so amazing. But I've experienced all that stuff. Like, we will get through. So if people believe, okay, the great floods that there are in the Bibles and all the great readings, and even any of the Bhagavad Gita and every text has things that have manifested in the real world, and people always compare it. Do you know why? Because everything that is in those books, when you read it and you believe it, you cause it to happen again on another level, on another plane of consciousness, and it happens to something will live it out. Some sensory being will actually live out your thoughts in another dimension. So you're causing a lot of things to happen, but it's okay because since it's not happening on this dimension, you won't really believe it to be, because just like someone got punched in the face yesterday, be like, ooh, that would suck. Then you get punched in the face, and then it becomes real to you, okay? Well, if you know that you don't have any reason for anyone to punch you in the face, you know you're never going to get punched in the face. Like, I'm not going to get punched in the face unless I ask somebody to, or if I think about it, and I'm not going to get punched in the face. And that's just how it works. It just sounds sort of funny to say it like that, because now someone's going to be like, I heard what he said, and I'm going to punch him in the face. But that's just, if that happens, that happens. And then I was asking for it, because I pictured it in my head. So anyway, so the way we create our futures in our actual life is how much real, deep down belief, faith, and effort you put into your thoughts of reality. Like, if you just let things, outside impressions, keep being what's your reality, it just will continue to be that. Just like if you keep watching TV, it's going to be the same shows and the reruns and the new shows, and you're like, ooh, what's coming up next that somebody else thought of in their creativity? That's my reality now, because I go to school and I do that, or I go to work and I do that, or if you don't work, you sit around and you watch your shows and you do that. Your reality is literally what you create. So start thinking about stuff all the time, and your whole world will be different. And that sounds really simple. So when I go into starting off with something about the Bible and all that kind of stuff, we have over-glorified everything. Science, the Bible, any kind of spirituality, any kind of religion, any kind of concept of anything. Everything has been over-glorified. But everything is that magical, but nothing should be put over the other. That's the difference. So when we can really, truly grasp that as a whole, okay, I come into my ego to play Dan because I have to, and I truly mean those when I'm there, because I play characters very well. I'm a good actor, except when I'm being fake, which is really hard to explain. Like when I don't want to be something, like I've always had a hard time playing a character that I'm not really like, but now I'm like every character, so all I have to do is jump into that form. But in real life, it's a little different. I love my kids, and I have memories in this life, so my body remembers that, and I choose to remember that and stay in my ego. That's the difference between an enlightened being or an awakened being or somebody who just talks out of their ass. You have to play between all your roles. Like, when I'm around my parents, I am somebody else, but at the same time, I'm outside truly who I am to everybody all the time. When I'm the bread guy, I'm the bread guy, but I say to people, I'm not just a bread guy, I'm not just Dan, and I'm God. Actually, I'm a realized being who's been everywhere. The difference between people is I've actually experienced these things. Like my mom always says to me that she's sure that there's other people who are starting to understand consciousness, but just maybe not on my level. But if I would say that to somebody, they would be offended. because they would think that I'm saying I'm smarter or more important or anything, but it's not that. It's just I've seen it. I've been to the future. I've been everywhere. Everywhere. I've seen it all. I've been it all. And it's magical. And you can too, and you will too. And when you finally do, you'll be like, yeah. Because you won't even know who Dan Alexander is, probably the lifetime you get to do it, unless you read about me in a book that somebody writes down. But if they do or don't, I don't care. I don't want to be recognized as my name. I just want the world to be saved. I want people to really understand who we are as a being, one energetic, magical thing with no name, but I call God. And it's in me, and it's in you, and it's all over the place, and it's the most beautiful, magical, wondrous phenomenon that there ever will be. And no words, you could say you could say 1,000 creative words to try to explain it, and it won't matter. What really matters is when you truly get that down into your heart and you forgive all the stuff that happens, whether you've been through a life of shambles and you've been broken poor, or you've been obese or sick, and you've lived in a setting of bare minimum, and you've had like a rough life with not much hygiene, or no one who cared about you, or abuse and addictions and everything that you could think of, every ailment. Everyone has gone through it. Maybe not this life, but everybody will. And every time you see it or watch it, you create it and you become it. And your next lifetimes, you'll feel it. You'll understand what I mean, but you don't have to totally understand it until you want to. Until you want to at that level, you won't. But if you hear what I'm saying, it'll change your life on some phenomenal degree, because you'll see what I mean by wanting to apply your own mind and not just let the outside world keep influencing you all the time. Even when it comes to just don't listen to me all the time. If I inspire you, go start thinking about what you like to do and what you really, really want. And don't just be like, oh, that's a good idea, and then try for a second and give up. Do it over and over until you start making progress, because determination and effort over and over and over and over and over and over. Discipline yourself to do it until it happens, because it's worth it for yourself. Anyway, till next time, peace.